Hello friends, we are here with week 3 of the PPL D2 Season 5. We're up against Carson, he's my good friend, aka Toxic Gaming, and his Chicago Bewears. His team is up on your screen as you could see. First things first, team was genned by Daneki, shout out to him, and this battle was recorded by DarkDevil 26. So, shouts to them, and yeah, let's jump right into the team because as you can see there's a baby eel. That is correct, we are bringing baby eel, and it is a cool set. It is in almost entirely modest, or it's quiet nature for slow U-turns. T-Bolt, HP Ice, Toxic. The Palisand is Fizz Def, Rocky Helmet for the Mega Kangaskhan, and pretty much nothing else. It also sets up rocks. Serp is some item, but it's Storm, Pulse, something, who knows. I think Seeds and Giga Drain, or Seeds and HP Ice or something. It kind of wins. It's Miracle Seed. Glalie is Spikes Ice Shard, Keldeo is Specs, if I'm not mistaken, and Hydreigon is a sub-roost, bulky, modest set that kind of shits on his day. Carson left his Mega Kangaskhan at home, so I'm basically playing a 5v6 because that Palisand cannot do anything to any of the 6 mons that Carson brought. It loses to Orlando, and it's kind of just setup fodder for Orlando because it's Earth Power Toxic. Excelgor 2-hit KOs it, or OHKOs it if it's Specs. Lottie can OHKO it, Chandelure OHKOs it, Drapion's a Drapion, so yeah, I can't really switch that in, and Rotom OHKOs it even if it's defensive. So going into this game I was not excited because Excelgor is a huge threat to me. Lottie and Lando of course are threats. As long as Hydreigon is alive and well, then Chandelure is not a threat. Drapion's annoying for my eel, but that's pretty much it. And Rotom I kind of expected, and the whole goal was to sort of whittle it. So I'm going to start up the battle, and I'm going to hope that the match starts up soon. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I lead with my eel because I'm expecting the Excelgor lead. And as you can see, I'm being challenged by Pokemon Trainer Carson. Carson sends out Razor Ramon, which is the Excelgor. I'm expecting a Spikes lead. Yeah, and here comes Wormy. Wormy's the fucking goat. I think I Toxic turn 1, expecting the Spikes and sort of scouting if he was like Gambit or what he was. I could have T-bolted into like another T-bolt or something, but if he was bulky or if he switched, I didn't want to deal with any of that. So I just clicked Toxic because I need this thing dead ASAP, and any damage is good damage. And predicting the Encore, I'm going to hard switch into my Robin, which is my Palisand, because the only thing this thing is good for, it lives a hit here. As he does go for the Encore, I believe I opt into setting up rocks on this turn. No, I double out, expecting Energy Ball to come my way. That is what I do expect. As he does fire the Energy Ball, I go into my Wormy, because I didn't feel like taking 30%, or getting dropped down to like 30 HP on my Palisand, when instead I could just take 30 HP from that E-Ball. Reminder, this is only like 20 Spadef EVs. In comes the Drapion as I go for a nice and easy T-Bolt. I get to see that this is a Spadef-ish Drapion, definitely max HP, not sure about the rest. I decided to switch out into, if I'm not mistaken, my Keldeo instead of my Palisand because I kept thinking that this Palisand was going to be useful and I could set up rocks with it or something. So I happily get my item knocked off because being able to switch attacks is kind of useful. Oh, it's Expert Belt, not Specs. I don't remember because this battle, because it got knocked off, as you can see. I know that the Rotom's coming in, but I want to make sure the Rotom's coming in, I guess is the correct thing I want to say. I debated Icy Winding in case Lottie came in, but I figured I had to go for a Scald Burn instead, you know, be scum. and see what his answer to Keldeo was, because it could have been a couple things. He could have went into his Excelgor to sort of sack it if he didn't feel like it was useful. He could have went into Rotom. I could have seen if it was FizzDef or not. He goes for the Volt Switch, and I really debated going into my Palisand, but I made the mid-ground play of going into Wormy, because if he Hydro Pumped after Spikes, my Palisand dropped like a stack of bricks. In comes the Drapion, and I don't want to get knocked off. I'm expecting him to P-Jab this time, so if I'm... Or, no, I'm expecting him to knock again because the Eel is super annoying for him. And so I know Keldeo is really safe. Keldeo is at half now, which is kind of annoying. And here I debate going for the Icy Wind, because getting an Icy Wind on the Lottie would be good, because I didn't think he'd go Rotom again. But I think I end up reading the Rotom coming in anyway, despite me thinking that. So it's a lot of just little misplays on me. In comes this Lottie. We find out after the match that my Keldeo outspeeds the Latias, but there was no way of me finding that out, so I'm just going to hard it into my Palisand as a sort of sack. I wanted to see what kind of item this was, or what kind of coverage it had. If it was Psyshock, I would have taken next to nothing, but it turns out it's Psychic, which is just awful for me. So if it was Psyshock, I don't think I lived. I might have... I don't think I took 20, but we see that it's Life Orb. And I know that Wormy is super free here, because it's a Life Orb Lottie, so I'm just going to click U-turn, knowing that the Drapion is likely to come back in, and that can give me some good momentum into things like... I just realized on my overlay that there's a Nidoqueen instead of a Palisand. Whoops. But that's okay. I get to go into my Hydreigon, and I didn't know if I wanted to... I don't remember if I sub here. I think I just Dark Pulse expecting him to switch, fearing the Earth Power, and he turns out to not fear the Earth Power, but I get the flinch. So good on me. I'm a good player, very skilled, much wonderful. I Earth Power here because I'm like, maybe he doesn't think I have it, and he ends up just chewing, and he goes for a knockoff on my Hydreigon, and I'm like, wait, can he not touch my Palisand? Can he not touch this thing? That's sort of my thought. I'm fairly certain he has P-Jab because I have a Comfy on my team. So I just go for a Dark Pulse, thinking that he'll switch, and he doesn't, and I end up taking this unnecessary P-Jab just because I keep thinking he's going to go into his Excelgor. I'm trying to play around this Excelgor not coming in, because if Excelgor comes in, it gets a kill almost 100%, and that's really annoying, and having to play around that is super annoying. Yeah. I could have subbed the first time on that Drapion as he went for knockoff, but I didn't want to sub and have the Excelgor come in and then I lose a Pokemon. And that's gonna be the theme of this match. I really, and anytime the Hydreigon is in, I'm just attacking what's in front of me, because the Excelgor coming in means I lose a Pokemon. As you can see, that did nothing. That was a Life Orb Draco, and I took nothing. Eel is a monster. This is non-invested. Just to remind everybody a third time. I go for a U-turn here, expecting him either to attack me again thinking he'll kill, or to just roost back up. He opts into roosting back up. I go into Greg because I'm really doubting he has Ice Beam, based on... I'm figuring he might have Ice Beam, but I did the calcs and it doesn't kill. Actually, I lied. I'm scouting for the Ice Beam here by doubling out as he Psychics. I was scouting for the Ice Beam. I figured that was fine. I do faint to this one, and that is unfortunate. But it does mean that Greg gets to come right back in, and now this Surf is a problem. The only thing that stands in its way is a Scarf Chandelure at this point, or a Scarf Lando. I go for a Pulse here, predicting Shandy to want to come in this time, because I figured he'd want to save this. And once again, I'm just outplaying myself at this point, because I keep predicting him to switch, and it's not happening. I depulse again because I really don't want this Shandy coming in for free. And thankfully he does actually switch to the Shandy this time. I go for the Dragon Pulse. It does like nothing, but that is looking like Scarf damage. He Shadow Balls. I had no reason to switch out. I had nothing to switch to. My Eel is dead. My Palisand's dead. So all my sacks are gone. Everything else that's left is kind of important. I go into my Hydreigon, and here I'm like, I could sub here, but he can go into his Excelgor. I don't know what to do. He hasn't done it all game. Maybe he won't this game. And of course, the turn I click sub is the turn this stupid Excelgor comes in, and now I'm like, well, I lost the game because there's nothing I can do. I have to go into my Super Suit. Glalie is the only thing that can live a Buzz, and it's a little annoying because he can live the Buzz, sure, so he chews, and unfortunately the Excelgor, based on the investment it has, is bulky enough so that it does not die to a Glalie Ice Shard as much as I really wished it did. So you're going to see that the Ice Shard is going to go off. It does not kill, but it does in fact die to poison. Debatably, my play could have been to sack Keldeo, but I really didn't see a reason to sack Keldeo because Glalie was losing to more things. It would have been nice for the Lando. It would have been nice just in general. But yeah, I don't know. He ends up going Rotom. That upset me. One, because that made no sense. He could have went into his Lottie and just won there, because he just Dragon Pulses the Hydreigon and Psychics the Keldeo and he wins. But he ends up doing this Volt Switch play where he goes Rotom, lets me get a sub up and Roost, I believe. No, he pulses, and I just fire off a Dark Pulse here because there was no reason for me to Roost because I died to the next pulse anyway. And so here we are. I'm at 9 HP. Debatably, I don't even know what I could have done because I couldn't have Roost stalled this. So, like I said, once I subbed and the stupid Excelgor came in, I kind of just lost from there. So I tried as hard as I could. In the commentary, I was just constantly afraid of the Excelgor coming in and screwing me over and me losing because of it, and this and that and all that. And at the end of the day, I finally decide to pull the trigger and sub, and he switches into the Excelgor as a sack, as he tells me after the match, that he was going to Excelgor as a sack. The thing that 6-0'd that was destroying my team, he was going to sack it off to the Hydreigon. And I end up choking the game away because he sacked it. Because he was going for that sack play. Anyway, this is me outplaying myself, but more importantly, Carson made a lot of really good plays, which I'm thankful for at the same time because he is my friend, and it's nice to see him start performing well because his team is really good, and his record of 0-2, now 1-2, just didn't look as impressive considering the team he had. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. I will catch you guys next week. We play Onesie Bennett, and that one should be fun. So, oh, right. One thing before we go. I'm making some transactions. I'm dropping Talonflame and Palisand for Araquanid and Gligar. And the reasons for that being, I wanted some more slow threats. So dropping Talonflame for Araquanid. Araquanid's really nice, and it gives me good switch-ins to things, which was something my team was lacking a lot of. Like, switching into things like Ghost and Water was very difficult for my team, with mons like Keldeo and Serperior being the main switch-ins to Water types, and Hydreigon in a sense. But, like, Status was really annoying, and Araquanid kind of fixes that by being just super fat and super awesome. And I'm dropping Palisand because I really don't like Palisand. it's really been underperforming. And the fact that I just brought it to a team expecting Mega Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan didn't even show up, just really upset me. So I picked up Gligar instead, because Gligar is a floating mon. I really felt like I needed a floating mon, and Gligar was looking really good in all my next matchups. So there's a Gligar on my team now, and fun stuff like SD Pass and I think Agility Pass is legal, but yeah, those mons should be fun. And then starting week 5, Araquanid will be my Z-mon, because I couldn't pick up 2 Pokemon and change my Z-mon in the same week. So I have to wait a whole week to make Araquanid the new Z-mon. But anyway, that'll be it. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.